Well, good afternoon. You know, in the last month, Liverpool has shown all their challenges in the First Division that it's going to take a superhuman effort to depose them as champions. Leading contenders such as Crystal Palace and Manchester United have arrived at Anfield full of hope, only to leave with a fuller appreciation of Liverpool's supreme ability and belief in themselves that they can go on and win their fourth First Division Championship title in 5 years. Well, yesterday it was Southampton's turn to try and bring a halt to Liverpool's record of 6 successive league wins. We started at Anfield, where the Southampton manager, Laurie McMenemy, was fully aware of the talents awaiting his team.
Graham Souness is the one that sort of stands there and lets you see him because he's got so much arrogance on the ball and time on the ball. Terry McDermott has scored brilliant goals here, where he started in his own 6-yard box and finished up in the opposing 6-yard box. Kenny Dalglish is the one that always gets the accolades because he was, with due respect to everybody, he was a class player before he came to Liverpool. But the lad this year, of course, is David Johnson, who, in a lot of people's eyes in football, wasn't a real Liverpool player before this season. He was a good Liverpool squad player, but this year he is scoring the goals and looking good and looking as though he could get in the England international teams.
And now a quick check on the two lineups. Liverpool's, of course, very familiar and experienced together. Since there was last a change in this team, they played 13 games, won 12, drawn 1. And the goals record is impressive too, scored 36 against only 5. Southampton, though, have problems. No David Peach in defence, he's had his knee immobilised in plaster. No Steve Williams in midfield, he had a stomach strain that kept him out of the early part of this week's training. But a bonus up front, the return of Charlie George after an absence of 11 games. It was George, incidentally, who scored the winning goal when Southampton beat Liverpool 3-2 at the Dell in September. The Southampton skipper, Alan Ball, no individual player with a better record of success at Anfield in the 70s. The first whistle from Nottinghamshire referee George Flint, and Southampton kick off attacking the Kop goal. Shannon to ball. Nicol to Watson. And Nicol back to Peter Wells. Wells preferred to Terry Janaury in the Southampton goal since the beginning of November. Flick from Shannon's head that time. Clements out to collect. Hansen. Souness. Neil was making a run down the far right touchline. Ball lost by Case. Baker square, intercepted by Neil. Souness. Dalglish. Foul given against Nicol. McDermott will take this. Liverpool have just left Hansen back on the halfway line. Nicol's header, and it's another corner. Just a pale sunshine coming through the mist, providing a bit of colour in that goal mouth. Red shirts of Liverpool and the yellow of Southampton. Johnson got the header, thought he was in for a goal. Just put it wide. It was all left to the goalkeeper here, and Johnson had a clear header but was under a bit of pressure from behind. Knocked down was by Boyer, and McDermott profits from it. It'll be Watson's. Holmes losing out. Throw was the correct decision. McDermott to Ray Kennedy. Alan Kennedy had made the run, and as ball went to cover Alan Kennedy, Ray Kennedy was left free to shoot just above the angle. Ball taken right away from making the challenge. Kennedy with space and really not far off target. Flick very neatly done by Case to McDermott. Dalglish trying to push it on for Johnson, and again it's a clearance under pressure by Watson. George beaten to it by Hansen. Ray Kennedy. Hansen. Souness. Thompson. Hansen coming back has found Liverpool a bit of space, and now they can go forward again. Ray Kennedy for Dalglish. So cool, but that time couldn't turn it for a Liverpool teammate. Souness. And here's Dalglish going in. I think he and the goalkeeper both took their eye off the ball, anticipating the collision. Cross was useful, and Dalglish went in on it. Goalkeeper came out, and I think they were both a bit aware of each other's presence. Both missed contact. Johnson. Shannon. Stopped by Thompson, and the referee had already given the foul. Ball. Got Holmes in. Watson. Looked like a rehearsed move and very effectively worked. All it lacked was Watson's ability to keep the ball below the crossbar. Ball will be looking all the time for ways to beat that Liverpool back four with a quick ball, probably over the top. It's a poor one. Boyer to George, releasing it quickly for Holmes. And pulled across where Shannon is coming, but Hansen made the contact. And that's the first Southampton corner. Nearly 11 minutes gone. But Holmes, sneaking in unseen down the left, has so far looked the biggest threat for Southampton. Shannon comes out to meet the corner. Ball plays it immediately back in. It hit Ray Kennedy, and the red flood comes out. Souness. Souness again. Alan Kennedy's cross. Dalglish's control and turn. Nicol was probably expecting him to go back the other way, as he has on 2 or 3 occasions previously, and this time it was just a quick flick up and shot. Beat the angle once again. Alan Kennedy, George, McDermott. Beautifully done on the move and on the turn. Now it's Dalglish. Johnson. Dermott. Another testing angle ball. Johnson didn't look anything there, and suddenly the ball was heading for the corner of the net. Alan Kennedy, and a marvellous save by Wells. Alan Kennedy throws his head in the air. He hasn't scored this season. He really can't have come much closer than he did with this shot. Watson away. McDermott. Golak. Ball. Shannon. Left to go it alone. Fouled by Alan Kennedy. And once again a chance for Alan Ball to see if he can scheme something from a free kick just outside the penalty area. Southampton usually quite inventive at set pieces. George didn't quite invent himself a goal. Played, in fact, very simply. Just a touch from Alan Ball and a shot from Charlie. And over the top. Thompson. Hansen. Misunderstanding there, and Golak is able to find his goalkeeper. Thompson over the top of Boyer, who made a back for him. Feeling the effects of it a bit too. Johnson, thrown away by Nicol, Ray Kennedy, Case. Waldron. Thompson to Hansen. No foul. Boyer to Ball. Baker. Golak. Former Partizan Belgrade player, Ivan Golak. Boyer, George, Shannon and Ball. Shannon. George! Typical Charlie George. Just 18 inches of backlift, if that. Swiftly laid off to him. Look at that, scarcely picked his foot up. Hansen. Neal to Case. Back again, and he stopped his toe. Holmes. George steps over it. Ball again playing the instant pass, but the offside trap wasn't beaten. Waldron had got ahead of the defenders. The way Ball stabs those quick passes down into that left corner there is very clearly the tactic that Southampton are hoping will prove profitable for them. Baker. Ball. Won by Souness. It's a little bit tricky for Waldron. Kennedy. Shannon. Run again by Shannon, and now put out of play by Souness. Kennedy. Baker. Looking for Boyer. Boyer turns and scores! 1-0. Phil Boyer, with his first strike-at goal, scores his first away goal in the league for 13 months. Baker's cross drops off Boyer's chest, swivels, and hits it out of Ray Clemence's reach in off the post. So that is a setback for Liverpool right on the half hour. Phil Boyer, who hadn't scored away in a league game since he scored at Main Road in December '78. to Southampton. Boyer now with 20 goals this season, bringing him level with David Johnson. Kennedy. Hansen. It's only the 7th goal that's been scored by a visiting team at Anfield this season. Shannon, Boyer, George, well played. They were onside, and Boyer was angry that there wasn't somebody making the break down the left side, I think. George has words with Mr. Flint. But Alan Kennedy with the ball is the man who was playing them all onside. Watson. Ray Kennedy. And ball. He got away with it twice there. The play goes on. Liverpool have possession until Watson intercepts. Boyer. Robbed by Hansen. Thompson. Chased by Boyer. Case. Ricochet comes to Johnson. Souness is shot blocked. Ray Kennedy looks for the cross. McDermott is on the end of it. Case is available. Header out was by Nicol. Neil wins it. Baker got a foot to it. Baker again, this time robbed by Thompson, and Wells cools it down. Thompson. Neil back to Clements. Watson, ball. Thompson, ball again. Shannon. Golak. George steps over it, and a lot of space here for Boyer and then Holmes as Neil goes across to cover, but Clements has made the save this time. But again, it's the man coming in on that left side that sets up the danger for Southampton. Ray Kennedy, Dalglish with Watson at his heels. Souness, Thompson, Johnson. Past ball, past Golak, and Ray Kennedy's shot fisted over very well indeed by Peter Wells. Superbly worked, started with a very good run by Johnson, and then in came Kennedy for the shot, and Wells with the wrong hand turned it over. Corner's come wide to Souness, and now Ray Kennedy to turn it back, and Wells again makes a good catch. Nothing wrong with Peter Wells' goalkeeping here this afternoon. Really done extraordinarily well. Signed from Nottingham Forest just over 3 years ago for £8,000. Pass back from within the Liverpool half by Charlie George. Just over a minute to half-time. Liverpool throw taken quickly to McDermott, couldn't quite get it past Watson. Shannon. Hit either his heel or Alan Kennedy's heel, the effect was the same. Neil, Case, Neil. Nicol got a foot in before Dalglish could get up to his tricks. Case. Thompson loses ball and puts a beautiful one through for McDermott. Chance now for a pullback, and the header straight up in the air was by Nicol. Then Thompson was in challenging, Nicol again, and then Shannon away, and Southampton have relieved the pressure. Mr. Flint looks at his watch. 45 minutes have gone. Checks with his second watch, and I think it will not be long now before we take the break. There is the half-time whistle, and Southampton, thanks to Phil Boyer's goal and thanks to some really splendid goalkeeping by Peter Wells with two outstanding saves from the Kennedys, Southampton go in the luxurious position for a visiting team at Anfield, leading by 1-0. Back here at Anfield, Liverpool a goal down, wait to start the second half, in which they will kick towards their wall of fans on the Kop. Away we go. Southampton leading, having lost their last 12 games here at Anfield. Watson. Very clear that Southampton had thought a great deal about how to play against Liverpool, and so far they've been putting their theories to very good effect. Alan Kennedy. Clements to Phil Thompson. Hansen back again. No doubt there will have been a certain amount said in the Liverpool dressing room at half-time. Waldron. George. Souness had a real go at Alan Ball there after the ball had gone, and the Southampton skipper, I suspect, didn't like it one little bit. Didn't retaliate, but I wonder what that sets up for later. He may just have exchanged a word with Souness as he came back then. Johnson. High boot from Baker. And high temper too. Now being moved back. Ray Kennedy finds Hansen. Dalglish was offside. Even then, Wells was not going to see that ball in his net. Does now, but it doesn't count. Lofted over here, and Dalglish was offside as Hansen helped it through. Still, there was a flung-up left hand from Wells. It was a bad one from Neil again. Watson met it and didn't use it, but Southampton still seeking a way forward. Now they'll have to go back because Kennedy will kick, Clements will kick long. Not on by Johnson to Dalglish. Johnson again, Ray Kennedy ahead of him. McDermott in the middle, little touch back to Johnson. Johnson didn't mean it, and the very fact of that, I think, disconcerted Wells. Beautiful build-up, a lot of improvisation in it. It's a flick back there from McDermott, and Johnson found it coming onto his foot, and that surprised Wells. Baker. And Alan Kennedy robbed by Shannon. Put out of play by Golak. Hansen. Foul by Nicol on Dalglish. Came through him from behind. He says it's okay. George stays put. Hansen's free kick floated towards Johnson. Not properly cleared by Golak. Back heel by Dalglish. In by Ray Kennedy. Header was by Watson. Neil and Boyer together. Neil puts it out. Thompson. Dalglish, McDermott. Plenty of men over on the left. Souness coming back right. Johnson available this side. Well, that hit Holmes and goes for a throw-in. That's by a foot. Case. McDermott. Case. Ball. Golak. Neil. McDermott. Neil again to McDermott. Good exchange of passes, and that's a teasing cross, and what a very good catch Wells made from it. I think McDermott thought there that he must have put one out of the keeper's reach. Lovely build-up down the right, and McDermott now given room for the cross, which he plays early. And it must have been 8 paces before Wells launched himself to make the catch. Thompson. Hansen. Kennedy. Turned and crossed well. Meant to go through to Case, but Waldron got in the way. Boyer. Danger here on the break. Shannon is onside. Charlie George is over on this side. Waldron is coming in support. Boyer is there. Holmes was going in, but Thompson has it under control, and Clements picks up. And throws straight to Baker. Robbed though by Ray Kennedy. Souness. That's a good ball. Johnson. Southampton stretched, but now back and organised. Oh, but what a lovely ball! And that must be a penalty. Golak on Dalglish. The penalty really earned by that beautiful bowling. Right into Dalglish's path. Golak the wrong side of him, brings him down. Protests from Southampton, but I really don't think there can be many grounds for them. So with half an hour of the game to go, a chance for Liverpool to draw level through Terry McDermott. Wells, who has played so well, now faces his biggest test of the game. The cop behind him, also behind him the confidence of some very fine saves indeed in this game. But against him, Terry McDermott. Terry McDermott, full of confidence from the spot, drove it hard, sent the keeper the wrong way. It's 1-1, and a blow to Southampton, who, having got their noses in front, were clearly looking to sit on the lead, maybe add to it on the break. But basically, I think we're relying on their experience to close down Liverpool's attacks. Suddenly found themselves exposed. Well, it's been a very good game so far, and we could be in now for an enthralling last half hour. 46,500, another big gate at Anfield, enthralled by a very good match indeed. Souness. Hansen. Up there towards Ray Kennedy. Souness taking it from Johnson, transferring it to Neil. McDermott to Neil. Johnson to Neil. And McDermott! Oh, what a goal that would have been! The way they kept bouncing them off Johnson, and suddenly it was McDermott who'd sneaked in at the back. Neil here, and Johnson the pivot of the move. McDermott to Johnson. Neil then finds McDermott, who'd gone sneaking in, couldn't quite curl it round Wells. The crowd now anxious that Southampton shall get on with it. Obviously that would be a Liverpool view, but I think that the uncommitted spectator who's enjoyed the play of both sides in this game would also want it to maintain its standards. Ball, Golak, Baker. Just a foot there by Hansen was enough. Alan Kennedy. Golak stopped him. Doesn't stop Liverpool. Souness coming through and then fouled by Baker. Baker put his shoulder into Souness, and Souness reacted by pulling him back. Hansen. Johnson jumped early. Souness. Kennedy. Ray Kennedy, this is. Easily read and cut out by Boyer. Tried to spring an early one for Shannon, who's still chasing it. Hansen, so often seeming languid in his play, but deceptive with the pace at which he covers the ground. Dermott. Case. Holmes. He's got in free here. Pulled it back for Shannon. Shannon dummied and was never allowed the chance to shoot. Looked as though he'd pulled off a beauty there. Now, problems maybe at the other end. Golak fouled by Johnson. So that'll give us a chance to have another look at that effort by Shannon, how well he extricated himself. But then when he wanted the shot, Souness thwarted him. George beaten in the air by Hansen. Golak forward for Southampton. Thompson. George. Offside surely, Boyer, yes. George having words with Mr. Flint, so to his ball, but I think the linesman linesman was a little bit slow putting his flag up there, but Mr. Flint was well placed, and no doubt in my mind that they made the right decision. Alan Kennedy. Corner. Liverpool's 9th corner of the game in the last 2 or 3 minutes. There's some pushing and a free kick given to Southampton. And now ball is spoken once too often, and Mr. Flint produces a yellow card. Pity that should mar an otherwise excellent game. Bob Paisley, who before the game received a Manager of the Month award, the 8th time he'd been given one, also been Manager of the Year 3 times. Chairman, Mr. John Smith on his right there. And there was a clear claim there for a penalty for a foul on Dalglish. Mr. Flint unsympathetic. Game restarting now in injury time. Johnson. Alan Kennedy. Dermot down, but it down only to Boyer. Boyer too hard. Hansen's header off for Thompson. Dalglish. Nicol. McDermott. In ball. Thompson. Neil, Dermot, and the final whistle. So Liverpool remain undefeated since the beginning of October, but a sequence of 8 successive victories comes to an end. Some whistles and boos from the crowd, but by and large a game in which the two teams matched skills and showed their respect for each other in a splendid contest. Boyer for Southampton, McDermott the equaliser for Liverpool from the penalty spot.
So a fabulous match, and especially for Southampton, who came so close to completing a double over Liverpool this season. Well, afterwards, Gerald Sinstad spoke to their manager, Laurie McMenemy, and to their captain, Alan Ball.
Alan, you came very close to getting 4 points from Liverpool. Did you feel you deserved the extra one today?
Well, on the day, I thought we set our soul out. We hit them on the break. We played some good stuff to get through them. We got the third man in so many times. With a goal disallowed for offside, and I think they were a bit fortunate to get a penalty. Cameras will probably prove me wrong, but from where I was, I thought it was a bit fortunate.
You wouldn't have given it?
Well, obviously not, no.
You've played a few times against Liverpool, and you always seem to do well against them.
Well, there's no secret to it. I mean, it's just that you come here and I must be a lucky lad.
There's a bit more to it than luck, isn't it? How were you setting about it today?
Well, we took a little bit longer in the week over them than we normally do over other teams. We thought that if we can stop them penning us in our own half, which is inevitable here most of the time, excuse me, we got people up, pushed people out, and tried to get into their half and get at their back four and get people wide and get people in. That just take that little bit of pressure off us, because they tend to pen you in there and keep you in the inevitable mistake. They seem to knock one in. And I've always found coming here, if you can take your time, get out of your own box, goalkeeper take your time on throw-ins, and generally try to stop them penning you, and you've got a bit of a chance.
There are a lot of arguments about the best Liverpool side ever. Would you say that this is close to it?
Well, I mean, you can go on and on and on and on, but they're a good side, aren't they? Simple as that. I mean, they keep producing good sides.
So 3 points from Liverpool is not bad form.
It's very good, isn't it? With a little bit of luck, if the referee had not given the penalty, of course, I don't think that they would have scored because the game was going that way.
You think it was a fair penalty, then?
Well, I'll take your word for it. I asked you, and you've been an honest man, said it was. So you like to think that maybe I don't know whether Ivan Golick should have made the tackle to start with. Yeah. But having said that, a point at Liverpool, yeah, their chances came from pressure. Ours came from football on the day. So a draw, we've got to accept that and be very happy with it.
Well, now let's hear from the Liverpool captain, Phil Thompson. And Gerald Sinstad pointed out to him that Southampton made Liverpool work very hard indeed for that draw.
Yeah, they did. We were expecting a bit of a battle, actually. They played very well down there, although we should have won the game easily, about 8-3. Where it was, it ended up 3-2. But they played very well today. They hit us on the break, which was, I think, a bit of ball he's doing. I think he's played this before.
You're not accustomed to giving many goals away at Anfield. What did you feel about the one that went past you in this match? Well,
Phil Boyer is always very good at chesting the ball down and leaning into people, and that's exactly what he done with Phil Neal. Phil couldn't get round him. Phil Boyer just backed away into him, caught her on his chest as he just had one touch, and that's why he scored so many goals this season.
Southampton were a bit disappointed about your penalty. Did you feel it was justified?
Oh, I thought it was easily a penalty, you know. Kenny, I think it was Kenny, had knocked the ball past him. Well, I think it was Kenny anyway.
Yes, it was.
But he knocked the ball past him and he come straight across and caught him. I think there was one a little bit later on as well, which might easily have been a penalty, if not obstruction inside the box.
But on the day, perhaps a draw was a fair result.
A fair result, yeah. I thought, as I said before, Southampton hit us well on the break. They've done it very well indeed, and they battled for what they got.
Now you turn your thoughts to some old friends of yours, Nottingham Forest. What are your feelings about that?
Well, I'm looking forward to it. All the lads are looking forward to it immensely, you know. We've played them once this season and we should have beaten them down there. We end up with a 1-0 defeat. But it should be a hell of a game, and that's what we relish.
You're back also to the two-leg games, which you know a lot about, and haven't had so much to play this season.
No, not really, not over the last couple of years. Tbilisi beat us over 2 legs this year. And Notts Forest beat us in the European Cup over 2 legs the year before. But we'll be looking to make amends this year.